This chapter, we talk about users and groups. So we create a user, and we can put user into a group. So first, we talk about user account, and then we talk about the group account. To manage user account, we can add a user. We can manage password. We can reset password and modify account, delete account. To add account, there are a few files which we need to understand. The first file is /etc login defaults, something like DEFS. You can find this file. So when you create new user, is taking some settings from these two files. One is etc login defs. It's definition or defaults. The other one is default, etc default user add file. So these are two files. And there also has a skeleton directory called scale. So when you create a new user, it creates user's home directory. And the home directory is populated by using files within skeleton directory. Skeleton is like a template. You can put anything files to the user. Then when you create a new user, those files will be copied to user home directory. And there's a password file, and there's a password hash file called shadow file. So this is the login definition settings. This one contains some information when you create a new user. And these are some explanation. For example, you define the password maximum days. You know, for security reason, you don't want the user use the password forever. This is very similar. You set a password on the website. They ask you to change the password from time to time. So this is pass max days. So this is this file is called login definition etc files. You define the login settings. There's a pass max days. So pass max days right now is 99999. So this means the password you don't need to change, right? You don't need to change. The password expires like 99999 days. When the days comes, everybody dies. So don't worry about change password. This means no need to change password. If you want your user to change password like every 30 days, it should be 30. Okay, this means the password has to be changed every 99999 days. This is a few hundred years. So that's I mentioned that. Password min days. After password changed, the password cannot change again before min date. So the password has to be used minimally these days. So this here says 0, which means the user can change password again immediately. If you set to 1, the user has to wait for 1 day before they can change password again. So this is password min days. The minimum days password must be used. So password max days, password min days, there's a password min length. Password min length is the minimum number of characters. Sometimes you want to let user to choose super long password. You can give the minimum length. 5 is the this setting here. Maybe you can give 10. The user have to set long password. And password warn age. So user receive a warning before the password expires. But you want to the user get some expiration some notification ahead. So this is warn age 7, which means before 7 days the password about to expire, the user start to receive some notification. So if the user logs in, they receive a message say, hey, your password is about to expire. So this is warn age, 7 days. If you want to, you can set it to 5 days or 10 days. It depends your situation. Create home. So when you create a new user, does it create a user home directory? The home directory is under /home. So right now, they're log in automatically. The user was created when you install Ubuntu or Rocky Linux. The home directory was created. But if you create new new user, actually default says no. When you create new user, it didn't create home directory. So this setting means is not default set. So this slide shows yes. You can change from no to yes. Sometimes it's convenient. If you create a new user, you want the home directory is created automatically. And encrypt method. So the method to use to hash a password is SHA-512. This is a kind of algorithm to generate hash value of the password. So this is the login definition file. You can define some settings within etc login defs this file. And then when you create a new user, the user account follow these settings. Another file is default settings, called is under etc default user add. You can explore this file, use cat, or you can use user add command -d to show the default settings. So default settings, you see the home directory is under /home. And every user has a home directory. So Tony's home directory will be /home/Tony. Johnny's home directory will be /home/Johnny. So this is a /home, just the top level of the home directory. And there's a skeleton directory. There's a shell, bin bash. So home is the base directory for user account. It's the base. It doesn't mean everybody's home directory is /home. Everybody has their own home directory. So their home directory is under the base. Inactive is there's inactive. It says -1, which means it's never inactive. So this is the number of days after password expired and now changed, and the account will be deactivated. So for example, you set up a password that expires like 100 days. So every 100 days, the user has to change the password. Okay? And then you have inactive days. Maybe you set inactive 10 days. So let's say the password expires. The user still have a chance within 10 days to reset their password. If the user doesn't do anything, then the account will be deactivated after these days. Okay, so this is inactive. Even though the password expires, but if the account is still active, the user can still change password, even the password expires. But if the account is deactivated, the user has no chance to change the password. So that works together with this pass max days. So after pass max days, if the user takes no action, then after these inactive days, the account become deactivated. And scale is the skeleton directory, contains the files or data that is copied to user home directory when the account is created. So this skeleton directory. And shell is the user account default shell, which is terminal shell. When you log on to terminal, you see the $sign. That's the shell. And the most popular shell is a bash. You see here, /bin/bash. There are many kinds, quite a few shell, but the most popular is bash. There may be some corn shell, C shell. You can choose. So these are you can ls skeleton directory, and these files will be copied to user's home directory when the account is created. So this is a skeleton directory. Password file, etc passwd file. Although we call it password file, you never see password. Actually, you never see passwords anywhere in Linux. It's not secure if you see password. So here, the second column, each column is separated by colons. The second column, every password shows as X. So the first one is username, and the second is password. Okay. So this is, we call it password file. So the password file has 7 fields. So 7 fields means 6 colons. So 6 colons made up 7 fields. So each field, they are separated by colon. So the first field is username. So you see root, bin, Christian, user1. So these are the usernames. The second one is password. They are, although they're shown as X. The third one is UID, is user ID. This is like your ID number, like passport or student ID. So it's uniquely identify the user with a number. So this is UID. And everybody has a GID as well. So the user account may belong to multiple group. Like you join to multiple clubs here. You join to this IT club. You may join to some like a hiking club. You can join to many groups, but there's a primary group. So this is your primary group. You choose one group as a primary group, and this is the GID shows here. Only shows one group ID is primary ID, but you must understand the user can belong to multiple groups. Common. This is could be anything, maybe user's full name, anything else you want to add it, common. So after UID, GID are 2 numbers, and then comments. So this guy comments is empty. Therefore, you see double colon. Nothing is between double colon. So it's empty. So user 1, this is a comment, and Christian B. And next one is home directory. So home directory is a /home slash the username. So /home / Christian /home / user1. And these are system users. So that's therefore you see their home like is quite different. It doesn't under /home. And finally is shell. But if shell, it says no login, or sometimes it says false, which means the user cannot interactively log into the system. Interactively log into the system means the user log in from terminal. So if the user shell is no login or false, the user shell, they cannot log into the system from terminal. They have special usage. You may be thinking, why I have a user, but they cannot log into the terminal? So they have some special usage, like we may be running some service we call service account. So these account will never be able to log into a terminal, like a bin or daemon or TCP dump, because their shell is no login. But they can run some software. They can run some programs. So that's their special usage. And users that normal shell, as I said, the most popular one is bash. So this is password file. Another one, you can see something about the real password is under shadow. But within the shadow, the password is in the encrypted manner. We call it a hash. So you see, you will never see the real password on Linux anywhere. You can see the hash of the password. So this is a hash. If you see exclamation mark, which means the user has no password or the user cannot log in. So exclamation mark means the user cannot log in. Maybe the user is locked, is disabled, or no password, so they cannot log in. Only the user can log in. You can see some hash value here with no exclamation. This is shadow. Okay, let's explain the fields. It's very similar. Fields are separated by colons. And the first one is username. There's no doubt. So we have a root, we have bin, Damon, user one, Christian. And the second one is the password hash. Password. So if you see exclamation, it means password has not set. Or exclamation or asterisk. So the account cannot use password login. If you see exclamation in front of a password hash, it means the password is locked. Again, a locked password the user cannot log in. And the second, after the password hash, is the date of last password change. So here has an interesting term called epoch time. Unix epoch time. So let's say this is the last time the password was changed. 17738. So it's not human friendly. So we don't understand what is this means, right? So this is the date, because there's no way to put a date here. The only way to present the data, you use number. So therefore, Unix, like in a smart way, to devise the epoch time. So the epoch time is number of days from 1907 days, January 1st. So therefore, when you see this number, you can convert it to a date. You can Google it. So you can Google it. You can say epoch time date conversion. You can convert it to a user human friendly date. Epoch time, Unix. So this is January 1st, 1970s. Normally, epoch time is a seconds. So when you see a long number of seconds, if it's epoch time, you can convert it to date. You see, at midnight on January 1st, 2019, this is 126.230.4000. This is number of seconds has elapsed since January 1st, midnight, 1970. These are UTC. So you can know the today's epoch time, right? So because from January 1st, 1970s to today right now, how many seconds has elapsed? So you can convert. You can convert. So let's say so this is today, right? So the epoch time will be this one. So this is the number of seconds has elapsed from January 1st, 1970s, midnight, UTC time. So as I said, in this file, there's no way to put date. There's no way to put a date. So therefore, Linux want to present a date is using epoch time. But this is days, not seconds. This is days. 17738 is the days. So let's say, can you convert to not seconds or the days somewhere? epoch dates. Oh, this is the seconds. Okay, convert seconds to days, hours, and minutes. Okay, so we can convert. Let's say you convert this to if we are watching this slide, if you convert 17738, let's say 17738. Where's my converter? Here. I mean, I like to use, we can use PowerShell. So I'll show you. So I open PowerShell. Sometimes I use PowerShell as a calculator. You can use calculator, but PowerShell is faster. You can type easily. So I'll show you, you can convert it to seconds very easily. So for example, the number I'm using is from the slide, 17738. Okay, so 17738, this is the days. You times 24 because every day has 24 hours. And you times 60 because every hour has 60 minutes. And you times 60 because every minute has 60 seconds. And then you get this epoch time. Now you convert this to a date. Right? You can use, I use this one as a simple calculator. It's faster than the real calculator. Then you get this number, then you can open, you paste it here, the very top. So the last time the password changed on this slide is 2018, July 26, Thursday, 12 a.m. GMT. Or Pacific time is July 25th, 5 p.m., 7 years ago. Wow, this slide is old. No, maybe this slide wasn't created 7 years ago. This slide was maybe just to use the example, right? So, okay. So this is you can convert. So next time you see epoch time, so you know it's a date. Okay, you see this number is a date. So this is the date. Number of days after password change. So last time the password changed is this date. And then this is password expiration date. It's also epoch. So anything about date is epoch because they cannot put the date. Like they couldn't understand the date. They could only understand numbers. So they have password expiration date, number 5. And number 6 is born age. This is password expiration warning dates. And next one is inactive dates. So if the user password expires, if the user takes no action for these days, the account is deactivated. So we have expiration date. This is password last time change date, expiration date. Sorry. And born age. And born age. So this is born age. This is expiration date. Oh, this is min age. So this is the password has been used at least these days. So this is born age. And then there's expiration dates. So this is user account creation process. So it's taking the login definition and taking the user default settings and copy files from skeleton directory. And you can give some input and you can create a user account. When you create a user account, it's going to create a home directory under /home. It's going to add entry to pass.wd. It's going to add entry to shadow file. And it's very interesting. Whenever you create user, it's going to create a group with the same name as user. So in other words, you create user Tony, then it's going to create a group called Tony. So that's very interesting. There's a group with the same name. Because the Linux want to set up this GID, and they must create a group. But when you create a new user, you never give them a group, and the Unix doesn't know what to do. Therefore, it's create a group automatically and set up this group. So let's try this command. The create user command called user add. To create a user, you need sudo. So let's try create a user called jkirk. So use sudo user add. So we add two options here. One is m. So you can combine option together. You could use -m, -d, but you can use -md. So -m is make a copy of this home directory. Okay, make a home directory basically. If you the default, remember the default it doesn't make home directory. And the -d you specify the home directory. Actually, -d you don't have to specify here because the default the home directory will be goes automatically under /home/username. So you don't need to put -d. But if you want to say home directory to another place, then you want to specify -d. -s is the shell. So we specify bash. The default shell is not bash. Somehow is called bin sh. Bin sh is the traditional Unix shell. And this shell is really hard to use. So bash is easy. So we use this bash. So let's try that. As I said, -d is actually we don't need -d because it will create the directory called home jkirk anyway. So we use -m. If you put d or without d the same, then we put if you put -d, then you have to put the home directory, which is home jkirk. But if you don't put -d and you don't give home directory, it's automatically created jkirk. And -s is bin bash. If you don't put -s, the shell will be sh, which is not easy to use. And finally, you gave the username jkirk. Okay. So the command is user add -m is make a home directory, copy home directory. So this make home directory, which means copy the files from skeleton. Actually, yeah, now let's try this command. Then we can see there's some files there. Okay, so the user was created. And you check the home directory, jkirk was there. I also have Tony. Where's this tab coming from? I don't know. But right now I have two users, right? Tony is the one I'm using, and jkirk is the new user. And if you look at the jkirk, permission denied at sudo, because by default only jkirk has access to home. Only J. Kirk can access home. Nobody else cannot. Nobody else can. So looks empty, but there are some hidden files. Use ls-a to see. So there are there are a few files. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 files. So these files were copied from skeleton directory. And if you look at scale, so they are exactly the same. Okay. If you want to automatically give user some new files, you just add it to skeleton directory. So anything in skeleton directory are copied to your new user home directory, but you must use -m. -m is to copy the files from skeleton directory. Without -m, the home directory is not created. So this is the user. Now we gave the user password. The user cannot log in because the user has no password. So here the slide a little bit confusing because it uses D Adams. This is the username. We use Jacob. I have to fix the slide because we didn't create a D Adams. This is the actual username you want to change password. The command is passwd. So let's try that. Sudo passwd Jacob. So sudo passwd J Kirk. Now we gave password twice. So the password updated successfully. So this is passwd J Kirk. And then you can open another terminal. Log in as J Kirk. So I'm going to open another terminal. Press Control Alt F3, maybe. So I open another terminal 3 here. Log in as J Kirk and give the password. So then you log in as J Kirk. Okay. So I'm going to stop here.